Hi, I'm Annapolis Mayor Josh Cohen with your monthly video update for February 2012. And in this video, I want to update people on the Market House, share with you where things stand with the Market House, what the decisions are still ahead of us before the City Council. And I want to start with an update on the geothermal well drilling project, which if you've been downtown at all lately, you can see this activity right on Market Space. What this project is, in a nutshell, is to provide an energy efficient and cost-efficient way of heating and cooling the Market House for the long term. And what this project is, when it's all said and done in March, it's going to be 20 to 24 wells that are 350 feet deep. And for those of you who are familiar with geothermal, it's a very simple, low-maintenance system, and the idea is that it taps into existing water, it cycles it through so that during the summertime, the water will fight back against the heat and provide a cool source of cooling, and then vice versa, during the winter, the water will provide an ambient warm temperature. That's my non-engineer version of it, but long term, like I said, it's going to not only be energy efficient, but it's going to significantly reduce heating and cooling costs for the Market House. What that means is, for the vendors, because the vendors are going to be responsible for their own operating costs, it'll make it more economically viable for the vendors, and to the extent that the vendors are able to save money and get more net revenue, that's also going to translate into more revenue going back to the city. The project is being handled by contractor Somerset Well Drilling. It's based in Maryland, and I don't know if you can see on the video, but they are doing an excellent job. They are maintaining the site very cleanly, and we're very, very happy with the job they're doing. So with that, let's head over to the Market House, and I want to give an update on where things stand with the Market House. So here we are in the Market House, and I want to talk about the decisions before us, but before I do, I want to briefly talk about how we got here. And if you remember last year, at the beginning of 2011, when Gonda Market pulled out of the proposed lease, the focus for the City Council shifted from long-term to, oh boy, let's see what we can do to get some activity in there this year. So we fixed the air conditioning, we fixed the sprinklers, we threw on some paint, but essentially we left the interior layout, as you can see, unchanged from Site Realty. We accomplished our objective of getting activity in here and getting vendors in here. Some were more successful, some were less successful. But our focus now, once again, is what do we need to do to position the Market House so it can succeed once again in the long term, meaning over the next 5 years, so that we don't revisit this every year. What that entails partly is a commitment from the city to do the necessary improvements so that the Market House can be successful, and it also entails a significant commitment from the vendors who we're inviting to participate. And we're in the process of doing a solicitation to invite applications, because not only are we asking the vendors to make a 5-year commitment to weather the ups and downs of the seasons here in Annapolis, but we're asking the vendors to make a significant financial investment themselves, some of whom we expect to spend over $100,000 of their own tenant fit out. So the 3 options for the city. Option 1 is basically the status quo option. Coat of paint, do some cosmetic repairs. Option 2, which is the option that a majority of the council and I favor, and is also the option that's recommended by Richard Sharoff, our outside Market House manager. And what option 2 would do, in a nutshell, is pull back the vendor stalls from the side of the Market House facing the harbor. And I sound like a broken record, and you may have heard me say this many times before, but we need to change it so that customers, after they get their food, can stand at the windows, enjoy the view, we'll add seating, and it'll be more of an experience to come in like it used to be. It won't be the same as it used to be, but more along that same lines, instead of just leaving it the way it is and having the mops and brooms have the best view of the harbor and have customers just be funneled down this bowling alley down the middle. It's not the customer experience that I believe the Market House really deserves. The third option, which no one is recommending, is similar to option 2, but it would also involve pulling the stalls back from this side of the Market House, and just due to the expense, we're not proposing that. The issue before the council is, how are we going to fund this? Because option 2 is $320,000, which is a significant amount of money. That includes the utility work and moving the electricity and utilities in the foundation so that we can relocate the stalls here. It also involves expanding the ladies' restroom, adding some seats, doing another roof penetration for a cooking hood, but it's a lot of money. And the key point is that we've projected the debt service comes to less than $45,000 a year. So the point for the council and the point for the taxpayers is that even though the city needs to expend this outlay of money up front to do this work, all of the cost that we incur through debt service is going to be offset by rent payments that the vendors pay the city. So at the end of the day, there'll be no net cost to the taxpayers, and the general fund of the city will not be subsidizing even these capital improvements to the market house. I think we need to do it. The last thing I want to do is try and reopen the market house for 5 years under an existing floor plan that is less than optimal, with 10 vendor spaces that make it difficult for the vendors to be very successful. Instead, we need to take advantage of this opportunity to do it right. That's the one thing that I hear whenever I'm out in the community. People ask me, when is the city going to reopen the market house and fix it? And I think that's what most people in Annapolis want to see. And so in terms of next steps, the Finance Committee is meeting on Tuesday, the 21st at 3 p.m. They're going to be boring down, looking at the numbers, talking with Public Works Director David Gerald, as well as our Market House Manager Richard Sharoff. And then the matter comes back before the full council the following Monday, which is February 27th. So that's where things stand with the Market House. We are at the final decision point, knock on wood, so we can finally get this thing fixed, not just for the rest of this year, but for the next 5 years, and really position itself so it will have an energy efficient, cost efficient heating and cooling system, so we won't have to deal with those issues anymore. We'll have a space layout that is much more warm and inviting for customers, that provides a better chance for the vendors themselves to succeed, and we'll have all the costs of this work financed and paid for by the rent that the city receives from the vendors. That's your update for February. As always, thank you for watching. You can reach me in the mayor's office at 410-263-7997. You can send me an email at mayor@annapolis.gov, and you can visit my blog, mayorcohen.com, and leave a comment. Thank you.